Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Baldwin number 4505. They call it a universal floor bumper. This is in the 003 finish, and that's their lifetime polished brass. Lifetime brass is every bit of 25 years old in my experience, to my knowledge. I could be wrong. I should say the first time I was made aware of it was about 25 years ago, sometime in the first half of the 90s, I think. My memory can't be trusted. I'm a huge fan of Baldwin. Huge. There's a lot of people out there that make high-end residential hardware, and a lot of them are good, but I don't like to fix what's not broken. And in my opinion, if you need to go elsewhere outside of Baldwin, you're doing so because, well, Baldwin doesn't have every imaginable design available, nor do they fit every budget. And that would be the reason why someone might say, well, Baldwin's going to be, for this reasonably sized house, $4,000 of material, but I could buy it from an offshore importer for less than $2,000, and it's all going to look really great, and that's all true. But nothing really, in my opinion, stands out like a piece of Baldwin hardware, and I say that because I'm partial to it as a result of not only selling it for years and going and learning the hardware, learning their nomenclature the hard way. If you're doing trim and auxiliary hardware from Baldwin, part number, finish. That's all you need to know. You start building some locks, now you got to think about it. You know, lock case, trim, roses, strikes, cylinders. Everything has to be thought through. And once you get to the point where you can reasonably understand it, you do become partial to it. But I'm partial to it because that quality, that fit and finish is spectacular, number one. Number two, I like to think that I'm a hardware guy. I have called Baldwin several times, of course. Let's just say scores of times. Every time I call, I get through to technical support and I get the right answer. Every time. I have called Baldwin about mortise lock cases that Baldwin produced in the 1970s. I spoke to the guy who was on the manufacturing line that told me all about that lock. My client, we're talking 40-year-old locks now. 45-year-old locks. Client just needs a spring. That's all he needs is a spring. This lock is going to work for decades. Spoke to the fella, told me, here's a spring that you need. Now that's why you go with someone like Baldwin, so that in 20, 30 years, when you need a spring, you've got a chance of getting somewhere with them on the telephone and continuing to get useful service out of the significant investment in hardware. Now, fit and finish. Spectacular, isn't it? This is the 003 finish. That's a lifetime finish. From what I know about it is that there is, on the atomic or molecular level, a bonding of the finish with the material itself, which causes this to be incredibly durable. You would use an 003 finish on an exterior application like a kick plate, where you really want the material to not fatigue like standard brass is going to, with the lacquer breaking off, the polishing fatiguing, and then you've got material below it. This is a great option for those applications where you want that finish to stay as stable as possible in a polished brass type finish. For me, it's clearly different than, it's too reflective and shiny when compared to polished brass, but it sure looks it sure is going to look a lot better after the lacquer has fatigued off of a standard polished brass, their 030 finish. Okay, now I took that apart to show you how it goes together. You're going to anchor that down to the floor with either the rawl plug, it's not a rawl plug, plastic anchor and a large number 14 screw, or the double lead anchor and the machine screw. That's awfully nice. They're going to give you everything you need to get that installed really well. Okay, so you're going to have anchors to be able to get it anchored. I can't imagine why you might need something else. You can do wood, you can do masonry, you can do, you know, something that's in between the two, tile. Now, gray bumper, threaded cap. This is all solid brass. Okay. Dimensional properties. They say it's 1.5 inch tall. I'd go with that. And the diameter is 1 3/16. I'd say that'd be spot on. Rubber insert is located 0.798 from bottom, so almost 11/16. Center line down to the bottom. Oh, maybe they're doing here 0.79. Oh, forgive me, almost 13/16. Yeah, that makes sense. To the center of the bumper is going to be about 1.1 inches. Obviously, you're going to find success with this working in your, your 1/2 inch undercut, your 3/8 undercut, maybe something up as high as a, maybe a 5/8 undercut. Probably wouldn't go any further than that. There is going to be a taller version of this available. And before I get to that, there are swatches down below showing different finishes that Baldwin can do. Baldwin is ever evolving with the finishes that they can produce. They have their own finish code system. Their values are their own. 030 means polished brass. That would be US 3, but more appropriately 605. And you can convert those codes over. And if you have trouble doing that, let us know. So this is a 4505. And the 4505, and I'm pulling up a document here to review this floor stop. I stand corrected. They do not have a taller version of this modern style stop. Other manufacturers do. If you need this design taller, we can help you. What Baldwin can do to help you is sell you the 4510. That is certainly taller. It will be what would be called a gooseneck style, because it literally looks like a gooseneck, a 4510. They also have their half dome series, the 4000. They're dome stops is what they're called. Other than that, they're going to have wall stops and then baseboard mounted stops. So Baldwin doesn't get into an incredible variety of trim and auxiliary hardware, but you can absolutely trim out an entire house with everything they do for stopping hardware, for obviously handle sets, lock sets, for window hardware as well, sash locks, sash lifts, things of that nature. So hopefully my passion for Baldwin has come through. I do severely believe in the product caliber, and really what excites me the most is when you can call there and talk to a hardware person and get the answers, because that's what Baldwin is. They're not a company that just is trying to pump it out, so to speak. That's left for other people to do. I don't think that's Baldwin's game. Their estate line is their high-end material, where you're going to have exquisite solid brass hardware, lots of configurations. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, where you can pull up not only all of the Baldwin products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog and archival versions of it as well. Older documents, different documents that are available. If you have any questions on the Baldwin, this is their part number 4505 and an 003 finish, or any other Baldwin product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.